Would you believe me if I told you that this was how things were looking at step 1? Here's how they were looking at step 4 and finally step 8. I would love to call myself a magician, but honestly, this is not magic, it's just art. And you know what? This isn't the first time. You've seen me draw all kinds of things as humans, from donuts, Christmas things, squishies, berries, flowers, emojis as mermaids as well. That was a fun one. And I've also designed characters based off random things like capsicums, fish, strawberries, and even mushrooms. But out of all of those things, we all had a very clear favorite, which was this one right here. This is from the video where I tried to draw some fruits as humans, and that video blew up. You guys loved it, I loved it, thank you so much. And today I thought I'd give you guys a step-by-step video on my drawing process when it comes to how I draw fruits as humans. Join me as we make a brand new drawing from scratch and stay until the end for the grand reveal. But just before that, I have something to quickly say. Firstly, I am not a professional artist and this is not a professional tutorial. This is just me sharing my process when it comes to how I design characters based on fruit. Also, when I say drawing fruits as humans, I basically mean designing a character inspired by fruit. This doesn't mean exactly drawing the fruit as a human, it just means taking different elements from the fruit to inspire my art. Just keep in mind that the idea of drawing fruits as humans can be interpreted in a lot of different ways, and I honestly don't think there's any wrong way. For example, drawing a character inspired by an apple can look like multiple things. You could, for example, have a character whose outfit is inspired by the concept of apples. Or you could have a fairy princess fantasy character inspired by apples. You could also turn the apple into a creature or give it an adorable little face. Or of course, you could use all the colors from the apple to design a brand new character. There is nothing wrong with any of these approaches. In fact, I think they're all super creative and I'm pretty happy that I thought of all these things in about 20 minutes, so yeah, pretty good. Anyways, the point is you can take any kind of approach you want. This is just a drawing challenge to inspire your creativity, get you thinking, and help you create something new. So that's really what it's about. There's no really right or wrong way to go about it. So at the end of the day, there is nothing more that I want than for you guys to have fun, try something different, and hopefully fill up a page in your sketchbook. And that's what we're going to be doing today. By the way, if you follow along with this video and create something as well, I would love to see how your amazing drawings turned out. Feel free to post it in my community or tag me in your own post. I am so excited. I can't wait to see what fruits you pick and how amazing your drawings turn out to be. So with that, let's get started. Magical Sparks, welcome back to my channel. It's Sparkle, and today let me show you how I draw fruits as humans. Starting it off with step number 1. Super easy, super simple, no need to stress. All we're going to be doing is making some key decisions, and that is literally it. Firstly, let's go ahead and decide our theme. So with the theme, you have a lot of options. Some of the ones that I listed out today were berries, tropical, citrus, or you could even go with something like a color palette, for example, the color green. And another option is to go with no theme and be completely random. At the end of the day, it is completely up to you, it's your choice, and there's nothing wrong with any decision you make. Alright, with one decision made, we are halfway there. So the second decision we're going to make is about how many characters we want to draw on the page. Do you want to draw 1 character, 2 characters, or 3? Keep in mind you have the option to do more or less. You can do up to 5 or 20 or even 100 if you're committed. You probably can't do -1 because, obviously, but unless you can figure out a way to do that as well, then go for it. And just like that, we are done with step 1. How easy was that? You're doing awesome. Now let's head over to step 2. Congrats on making it to step number 2. Now here's what we're going to be doing. Go ahead and pick out your 3 fruits. So for me, from step 1, I decided to go with the theme exotic. I decided to draw 3 characters, and then I picked 3 exotic fruit. Now we're gonna do a very quick brainstorm. I've written down the names of each of my fruits, and now I'm just gonna write down random things that come to mind when I think about the fruit. You can talk about things like the color, the texture, the shape, or just things you associate with it. Keep in mind that you can do this mentally or you can do it on paper. I just find that doing it on paper just really helps me to get my thoughts out there, and it's just nice because I have something to refer to when I'm coming up with my sketch later on. And if you're struggling to come up with ideas, try to think of things like, for example, what kind of shapes can you see on the fruit or inside the fruit that you could potentially incorporate in your design? For example, the spikiness of a pineapple, or the wrinkliness of a guava, or how smooth a lychee is on the inside. And once you're done with your brainstorm, just take a second to decide whether you want to give your characters a natural skin tone or something crazy like pink, purple, green, red, or something like that. And just like that, we are done with step number 2. Can you guys believe how easy this is? We got this. Welcome to level 3. Now we are going to be doing a very quick, super rough draft of our characters. Now I want to emphasize that I really do not want you guys to spend any more than 10 minutes on this. This is meant to be super duper quick just to get your ideas out there. Keep in mind that it does not have to be detailed, you do not have to finish it, it doesn't even have to make sense to someone else who looks at it, because you don't even have to show it to anyone else. Make this drawing for yourself, just so that you can get an idea of what you want to draw for your final drawing. So how I usually go about this step is I go ahead and draw the character in the middle first, just so I can kind of see where I want the other two characters to be. I use some simple lines to just mark out the pose, and then when I'm happy with how my characters are looking, I go in and add some more detail. Once I have their poses marked out, I can kind of see their personalities coming through. For example, the character on the left looks like she's very extroverted, and the one in the middle looks like a fashionista. So I decided to make the one in the middle a lychee because I thought pink would match well with the fashionista theme, and I thought pineapple would look cute for the character on the right since I can give her a flowy skirt. The thing is, it may look a little overwhelming, but once you get started, it's so easy to just keep on going, and it's honestly kind of hard to stop because random ideas will just pop into your head and you'll want to try all those ideas out, like, hey, what if I give this character boots? What if I have this character winking? And all these random ideas are literally going to take over your mind, and you're going to want to try each and every one of them, which is good because that's what we want to do at this point. We want to try all our ideas. We want to get the pose, outfits, expressions, and personality all marked out. And just like that, in a couple of minutes, you'll have your base design all ready. Hello and welcome to step number 4. This part is going to be all about exploring our options with colors. And I'm going to be showing you 2 different ways that you can go about it. So the very first way is to grab some colors and lay them down on top of your sketch. You can use markers, paints, or pencils, but I would, however, recommend lightening your sketch before you do it. Although I didn't do it here, I would definitely recommend it to stop the pencil from smudging. And with this step, you don't have to be too precise. We just want to kind of see how the drawing would look with some color to it, and you might like it, you might hate it. Either way, it's okay. Just take a second to reflect and think about what you could do differently for your final drawing. Now, this is one way you could go about it, but if you're thinking about trying out some more color options without ruining the actual sketch, not that you can ruin it, but if you're worried about that, another way you can go about it is by taking a photo of your drawing and just using the Photos app to just lay down some colors on top of the drawing. It's basically the same as what we did before, except now you have a bit more flexibility and a little less pressure when it comes to your drawing. And if you don't like the way something looks, you can change it right then and there on the spot. I personally prefer doing it digitally just because I can try out a bunch of different color palettes at the same time, but either way, they're both great options. And just like that, mission accomplished. Congratulations on making it to step number 5. We are more than halfway through the process and we are almost done. Now the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be working on the final sketch. This is definitely a very satisfying step because everything we've done previously has been on separate pieces of paper, but now we get to see everything come together to form the final product, which is so exciting. We can finally get our ideas, our concept, and our characters on the paper. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and grab our sketchbook, pencil, and get straight to the sketching. Now you've seen me draw multiple characters on the page multiple times in the past, and while the final result always ends up looking stunning and I love it, sometimes the sketching process can be a little bit stressful, especially because there are so many thoughts running around in your head. There are so many things to consider, like whether the characters are proportionate to each other, whether they actually look good, whether the pose makes sense, whether the colors make sense, and there's just so many things to consider, which can actually make the process stressful and less enjoyable. But over time, I've come to discover some tricks and some tips that help me to really just take away the stress and make the entire process more fun, more enjoyable, and more relaxing, which is exactly what I'll be sharing with you guys today. Tip number 1 would be to start with the character in the middle. Once you get that character laid out, it's really easy to see their height and the size of their head and body and match it with the character on the left and the right. Tip number 2, with the pose and the hands, just get them roughly marked out for now. Don't worry about them at first, don't worry about making them perfect, just roughly mark them out so you can see what you're working with. Afterwards, once you've got the pose all marked out, you can grab a kneadable eraser to lighten your sketch, and then you can perfect the pose or change it. And tip number 3, definitely use a reference if you're feeling unsure about the pose. You can take a photo of yourself for reference or find one on the internet. Either way, using references definitely helps. Tip number 4, don't be afraid to erase or completely change your mind about things, because this is the sketching phase. This is where you can make all those decisions. This is where you can completely change your idea without any consequences. So if something randomly pops into your head, if you decide that you want to change a character, remove a character, add an animal, change the colors, change the patterns, literally anything, do it right now because you are in full control, and honestly, there is nothing stopping you. So have your eraser nearby and don't be afraid to erase your mistakes or to change things up. And tip number 5, if you happen to be a part-time perfectionist like me, then make sure to go ahead and take a break every now and then, because sometimes your drawing will look good, but your brain will just pick out random things that honestly aren't even as bad as they might seem. So make sure to take a break and step away from your drawing, because like for me at this point, I don't know why, I didn't like how the drawing was looking. Like there's nothing wrong with it, I can see that now, but when I was sketching, there was just something about it where I didn't like it. But it's all good, because I came back a while later and then I realized that my brain was just looking for things to criticize and to complain about. And yeah, so if that's a problem that you have, make sure to take a break every now and then. And remember, this is meant to be a fun art challenge, so do whatever you can to maximize the fun. On a different note, let's talk about our character designs here. So I haven't named these characters, so I'm just gonna call them Pineapple, Lychee, and Guava for now. We'll figure out the names later. So firstly, I decided to give Pineapple an updo because of how an actual pineapple does have a little bit of a design with the leaves at the top. I also decided to give each of these characters a bag with their actual fruit. So for Pineapple and Guava, both of their bags have their fruits printed on the front. And for Lychee, she has a very fancy bag, so I just gave her a lychee keychain. I also wanted to have all the characters look like they're best friends going on vacation, like it's summer and they're enjoying their life, because the theme is exotic fruit, so I thought why not make it look like they're on an exotic vacation. And of course, they're all fashionistas because look at their wonderful fashion sense. By the way, if you've made it this far, you're awesome! And if you want to help me confuse people, comment any fruit emoji that isn't any of the fruits that we're drawing. Comment a lemon, an orange, or anything random just to confuse people. It'll be fun. Anyways, just like that, our sketch is officially complete. And you know you're on the right track when you look at your sketch and you go, wow, did I make that? That is so good. It was so much fun and it turned out amazing. Congratulations on making it to step number 6. I mean, congratulations on making it to step number 6! So this is a very simple step because all we're going to be doing is outlining our drawing. And today I'm going to be using my Ohuhu fine liner to do the outlining. Just a quick tip, make sure to check if your fine liner actually works with the art supplies that you want to use later on before you do the outlining, just to be sure, because sometimes certain fine liners do smudge with certain art supplies, so just check to make sure. Also, this step is completely optional because if you don't want to outline your drawing, that's completely fine as well. If you just want to erase your sketch and color on top of that, that's pretty cool. Or if you want to try something different, you could also try outlining with multiple different fine liners to get like a cool effect by using different colors instead of just black. Or you could outline your character and then go around all your characters with a thick black marker. There are so many things you could do. But the main thing is just be crazy, just have fun, and let your imagination run wild. And just like that, our outlining is complete. And just to add a fun effect, I did go ahead and make some lines slightly thicker, and I think that just makes the drawing look so stylistic and already much better. It also helped me to hide some shaky lines here and there, but at the end of the day, who's even gonna know? Now, step number 7 is definitely one of the most exciting steps of this entire drawing process, and to help me out today, we're going to be unboxing some brand new markers that were very kindly sent to me from the company Ohuhu. Thank you so much, Ohuhu! We'll be unboxing them, swatching them, and coloring with them today. I'll also be sharing my thoughts on the markers and providing a special coupon code that you can use to get a 10% discount on their website. But first things first, let's go ahead and unbox these art supplies. Both the marker sets we received are dual-sided and from the Ohuhu Kaala series. However, they are quite distinct from each other. This one here is from the Ohuhu Kaala B series and it has a mini brush nib. And this one is from the Ohuhu Kaala series. But to really understand the difference between these two, let's take a closer look at each of them. Starting off with the Kaala B series. So this set comes with a colorless blender that has a slim chisel on one side and a mini brush on the other. Now this is a brand new nib and I'm super excited to try it out. It also comes with replaceable mini brush nibs, an information pamphlet, and a protective sheet to place under your paper. Aside from that, here's the box. I love the illustration on the outside and the fact that it has a carry handle. Opening it up, we get to see not one, but 2 swatch cards. The first one is for us to fill out, and the second one is a printed swatch card. And finally, we have the actual markers! I was so happy when I realized that the markers are already organized to correspond to the swatch card. Like, that is such a huge time saver. Also, here's how the marker looks. As you can see, each marker comes with its own name and color code as well, which makes it super easy to reference your swatch card and find exactly what color you need. And with that, let's begin the swatching. So as I was swatching these markers, it just came to my realization that this may be the first alcohol marker set where the brush nib is so small, yet sturdy, flexible, and versatile. It's so cute and so functional. However, I did run into a tiny pickle. All these markers worked amazingly, and then I came across this gray marker and I swatched it and I realized that, hold on, is this a brush tip? Because the one on the left does not look like a brush tip, right? And I don't know, maybe it's just a manufacturing defect, but aside from that one marker, the rest worked amazingly. They were super easy to use. For a marker set that only has 60 colors, I'm really surprised with how many skin tones they managed to include in this. I think that's pretty great, especially for someone like me who likes to draw characters. Anyways, let's have a look at our second set. So this set also comes with an information pamphlet, a protective sheet, and a colorless blender that has a slim broad nib on one side and a fine nib on the other. The main distinction between this marker set and the previous marker set is that this one has a fine nib and the other one has a new mini brush nib design. Opening up the box, on the inside we have 2 swatch cards yet again, one that's printed and one for us to fill out. And right after that, we have our markers. Not only are they already organized by rainbow order, but the way they're organized corresponds to the swatch card, just like the previous set, which was a huge time saver. Anyways, here's a closer look at one of the markers with the slim broad nib and the fine nib as well. With that, let's get straight to the swatching. It's been quite a long time since I've used an alcohol-based marker with a fine nib, but I gotta say, this nib gave me so much control as I was swatching. It was super easy to color in those tiny little boxes. Also, I love the names that these markers have because they're just so pretty, and even the colors themselves. I was really impressed with how many pretty colors this set has, and just like that, the swatching was complete before I even knew it. It was so satisfying, and I love the way the final swatch card turned out as well. I think this set has a lot of great colors, but let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Anyways, with that, we have unboxed our markers, we have swatched them, and I think all that's left for us to do is to put them to the test with some coloring. And with that, let me say congratulations on making it to step number 7, which is to go ahead and color in our drawing. So that's basically it. At this point, you've done all the hard work. You've put in all the time, all the effort to get your drawing laid out. And now it's your turn to relax, unwind, and watch all that hard work pay off. So basically, just treat this like a coloring page at this point. Play some music in the background, grab a blanket, get cozy, and just start coloring. Make it fun, make it therapeutic, and make sure to enjoy the process. By the way, I used the mini brush markers to color in the skin here, and I was honestly so surprised with how well it was turning out. In fact, I think I may prefer the mini brush to the actual brush nibs that come with markers because these are just so precise and easy to control as well. Also, they're just so cute. Small things are always so cute. I don't even understand why. Talking about small things, small Mr. June will be making a little guest appearance at the end of this video, so make sure to stay tuned for that. By the way, if you want to find out more about the marker sets that we unboxed today, I will have both of them linked down below in the description of this video. As for my thoughts about the markers, I'm really happy with the color selection in both sets. I love the mini brush. I think it's so cute and so functional. Aside from that, the fine nib is super nice for small details, and the slim broad is really good for achieving small details and to shade in larger areas as well. Both these marker sets are really good. The only thing I would say is that they do have a slight smell to them, as most alcohol markers tend to do. If that's something that bothers you, then that's just something to be aware of. Aside from that, it's really good. I love it. I think it's amazing. And also, if you guys want to enjoy a 10% discount on all products on Ohuhu's website, make sure to use this special coupon code. The code is SparkleColor10, and you can find it in the description of this video as well. And this special code will allow you to enjoy a 10% discount on all products on Ohuhu's website from now to the 17th of September 2026. So of course, feel free to use the code and enjoy the discounts. And now back to step number 8. So step number 8 is to color in your drawing, and as you're coloring in your drawing, think about things like the color palette and the texture. So when it comes to your fruit probably has a texture on the inside and the outside. It also has specific colors to it as well. And if you can find ways to incorporate those things, which by the way you don't have to, but if you can, that can add a lot more detail and dimension to your character. On that note, what I did was I looked at a reference image of a lychee, and I noticed how the outside skin has a very pinkish color to it. It's not exactly pink, it's between a reddish pink to like an orange, but I decided to interpret it as pink. And I also looked at the texture of it. It has like a very bumpy texture on the outside, so I decided to kind of replicate that and use it to kind of give my skirt a very fun angular pattern. Keep in mind, it's not the exact same thing, but it still looks super cool. Not just that, but lychees are white on the inside, which is why I decided to keep the character's top white. And I gave her a super nice dark jacket just to contrast. Also, random tip, but sometimes if you feel like your characters aren't really looking very unified, something that I like to do in that case is either I will give each character their own individual color palette, or I will pick at least one color that I can use in all the characters' designs. And today that color was pink. So obviously our character in the middle is literally screaming Barbie, she's completely pink. But aside from that, our character on the right, who is the guava, she already has pink in her design because guavas are pinkish on the inside. And so that just leaves our pineapple character who, unless we're thinking of a pink pineapple, which was not what I was doing, Pineapples don't really have a lot of a pink hue to them, so what I did was I used a little bit of pink to add some slight shading on her outfit, but aside from that, I gave her pink shoes to match with the other two characters. And just like that, the color pink was repeated throughout each of the three characters' designs, which was just one tiny thing that helped them look nice and unified. But at the same time, don't worry about it too much. Just go in and color in your characters the way you want. They don't have to match each other because, there's no rules that they have to. But if you do want them to match without using repeated colors throughout the drawing, there is another thing that I like to do, and that is to add a background behind the characters with 3 separate colors. For example, as you can see, the pineapple character doesn't have a lot of pink, so once I was done with the drawing, at the very end, I went ahead and added a pink block of color behind her. And just like that, the guava character doesn't have a lot of yellow on her side, so to balance out the colors, I added some yellow over there. And that way, everything just looked super balanced and colorful, and it just really brought everything together. Don't worry, we're almost there. I'll definitely show you how it turned out at the very end. Also super random, but I cannot believe how well the shading turned out for the pineapple character's top. I don't know what I did specifically, but it just looks so good. And even her hair as well. I went with a blonde brown balayage, and I can't believe how pretty it turned out and also how easy it was to do. Anyways, the point is this challenge will help you to try things that you never tried and to find out how talented you are. Because you are going to amaze yourself, trust me. This is a very fun art challenge. Again, I can't wait to see how your drawings turn out, and if you want me to try any other art challenges or to make more drawing process videos, let me know your ideas and suggestions in the comments down below. I always love to hear what you guys have to say. Also, it's time for a very random life update. So 2 exciting things happened recently, and the first one is I noticed that I am almost done with my sketchbook. I'm very close to being finished and I can't wait to finish it. I actually have a fun little idea planned for that one, so maybe you'll see it come out in a future video. Also, the second exciting thing that happened is I got a brand new iPhone. I got the new iPhone 17 Pro. This is my first ever Pro phone, and actually I tried recording this video with my brand new phone with 4K, so hopefully it looks better. But yeah, so far so good. Lots of exciting things happening. Anyways, back to our drawing. I just finished the coloring and here's how the drawing is looking. I'm already loving it, but we're gonna make it even better. Whoa, stop. You made it to step 8. Oh my gosh, give yourself a pat on your shoulder. You're a real one. Step 8 is super simple, super fun, and we really get to bring our drawing together because what we're going to be doing is calling in some reinforcements and adding some finishing touches. Now you can use absolutely any art supply you want and just go crazy, go wild, and have fun. Today I decided to use some colored pencils to add some details and texture here and there, and then I brought out some acrylic markers to add some highlights to the characters' eyes and really make them pop. And of course, to make our girls look nice and fancy, I gave them some really nice gold and silver highlights here and there, just throughout the drawing with these metallic markers. And optionally, you can go ahead and add a background if you want, so you can draw a full-fledged scenery if that's something you're into, or you can do something simple like what I did. So I just drew a big block behind all 3 of our characters, then I divided that block by 3 and filled in each section with a different color. Now, I know that up to here, everything's been really easy and simple, but from this point on, the next step is really intense. It's really difficult and you really have to lock in because it requires 100% of your concentration and effort. And that step is so important. It will literally make or break this drawing. So step number 9 is nothing. I'm just kidding. There is no step 9. We're done. That's it. Now it's time for the grand reveal. That's right. We did it. You did it. Good job. I'm so proud of you. And now let's just sign off our masterpiece and get ready to show it to the world. Okay guys, it is now time for the grand reveal. In 3, 2, 1. Here is what we started with and here is what we got. Oh my gosh, I never would have expected to create something like this with these colors, with these fashion choices, with these characters, yet here we are, and I could not be happier with how this turned out. Like, just think about it. We started from 3 edible things: a pineapple, a lychee, and a guava. And we ended up with a full, complete illustration that looks so amazing. I mean, I'm astonished. Even I can't believe I made it. Anyways, guys, that is my step-by-step thought process when it comes to how I draw fruits as humans. I really hope this video was able to help you out, and I can't wait to see what you all create. Again, thank you so much to Ohuhu for sending me your markers to try out as well. I had an amazing time using them. Anyways, everyone, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys all have a fabulous day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!